because some Angelinos are like one paycheck away from like an eviction or something like that. So that means like, let's say if they had a flat tire and they couldn't get to work, and then they lost that paycheck from the work. So I know I'm going back to this, but do you think universal basic income would help alleviate some of this? Are you familiar with that? Or?
Yeah, and it depends on how it's right? Like if you were to say, if certain people under certain thresholds, right? Like the universal basic income would make sense for anyone under the federal poverty, right?
Yeah.
So that federal poverty level in LA County is, I think, $65,000. Right?
Okay.
And if you have more children and multiple incomes, or more adults in the house, or you have more dependents, then that income level changes, right? So if you're thinking about whatever this, let's say it was 65% of the population is one financial shock, that 65% number comes from being at the federal poverty, right? And so in a county of 10.5 million people, we're looking at like 6-7 million people. How would you put eligibility on that?
Right. So you don't believe in like a true UBI, which is just even everybody who's like rich gets it. It just goes out to everyone, or because like one of the things they're trying to do is saying that it's a floor and it's not a ceiling. So, but that's different. But a lot of people are against people who are like, let's say 100K plus, like getting something like a UBI because like they don't need it. But if we implement it with have you heard of a VAT tax? Like a tax on a value added tax. They have it in Europe. So a value added tax means that like you put a value added tax, like let's say it's like 10% on like not consumer staples but like luxury goods. So everyone would get the UBI, but the people with more money would like pay more into it. So the benefits would go more to the people who are struggling.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to do it.
But that would just be like, yeah.
If you could, the challenge would be convincing rich people to pay more taxes.
Yeah, right. But it would be a point of sales, so it's not
point of like sales tax.
Right. On like
on luxury
mostly,
items.
Yeah, like that.
I mean, I think there's so many different ways to implement basic income. So the city of West Hollywood here actually has guaranteed income for people like a certain age, and like elderly people that have no income, right? So that they can have some means, right? So there's pilot programs all throughout California for guaranteed incomes. I don't know how implementing a universal income model would work in California because we have such extreme disparity of wealth. And that's one of the ugliest things about California is that we have such wealth, and it is like such a small percentage, and the majority of Californians are struggling to make ends meet, and still paying and absorbing in taxes on it, right? You pay the sunshine tax. So I think there's benefit to it. It just depends on how it would work in California, and I guarantee you it's going to be different in Wyoming and different in Texas because when you have California with the GDP that it has,
I mean, we did have a surplus, and like Newsom sent a bunch. I don't know, like he sent a bunch of stimulus checks, in addition to the federal stimulus check. Like he sent these other stimulus checks, but of course, people had to send in their tax returns or something like that, and a lot of homeless people aren't doing their tax. Don't give a tax return because they're off the grid. So like that's the thing. So of course, it's a multi-pronged approach. But like my philosophy is like there has to be a floor, not because I think a safety net creates like ceilings. A lot of people say they stay on welfare because if they were off welfare and just working jobs, they make less money, so they stay on one phone.
Absolutely,
But like exactly, but the UBI says, look, make as much money as you want. This is just going to come to you. So it kind of puts like some kind of incentive.
And how would you make sure that the people that are not paying taxes get their
No. Like a true UBI would have nothing to do with that. It's kind of. Are you familiar with Alaska?
Yeah.
Yeah. If Alaska has something called a permanent fund. So every year, as you're saying here, every citizen of Alaska, like resident of Alaska, gets a portion of the oil. So basically, we're always using our phones. We're always on our phones. We're always using tech. All these tech companies are harvesting all of our data. Every time you see the cookies and stuff like that, it's like, why aren't they giving us a piece back for all the data that they're harvesting on us? Because data is the oil of the 21st century. So that was like, I don't know if you're familiar with him. That was his whole shtick when he was doing it.
I mean, I'm familiar with him, but yeah.
But not,
He's the one who created this new party.
Yeah.
I wish Alaska would stop trying to attempt to send their homeless people out of California.
They would. They are.
It's like Texas is sending their immigrants, Alaska's trying to send their homeless people.
Really?
Keep getting shit on by these oil states.
So they give them like a one-way ticket or a
Bus.
Yeah. Texas bus. Texas is already sending 3 or 4 busloads of immigrants to California, and of course we accept them because we're
Alaska.
evil.
They have to go through Canada.
I think he was gonna. Well, this is the mayor of Anchorage who was. They didn't do it. I think they got a lot of pushback, but he was just gonna give him a ticket, send him to LA because
Like what the red states are doing with their immigrants.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say if they had that permanent fund, why is it not helping the homeless people?
Your guess is goes fine. Yeah.
But
it's only once a year, and it's not that. It's like
it's $2,000.
It's like it fluctuates depending on how much oil. But like $2,000 a year is like, what do you do with that? It's nothing, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely think there's merit to basic income models for everyone, and and maybe a floor is a right solution.
But you see, that's the thing. It's like, let's say that like maybe we didn't have, let's say hypothetically, we didn't have the money to pay for like these things, and let's say like one of our cameras broke or something. Like a basic income would allow us to like replenish, whereas let's say if a job relied on like a computer or a phone or something like that, and then you were living paycheck to paycheck, and then this broke, and you didn't have enough money to like buy a new one, it would allow for these things, like these unforeseeable circumstances, to not put you out of commission, to not like put you. So that's the thing. But I know it's like homelessness is like a multi-pronged problem. So I'm not here to say like, I'm not saying it's going to solve everything. I'm just saying it's like one piece, like a whole kind of ecosystem.